pressure, you start to fold like a diamond from gold. Maybe you are, maybe you are something I cannot define. Maybe you are, maybe you are the fallen kind. I leave them with violence, the silent side of me. We see where fire starts to breathe. When I would lay in silence, the voice inside of me made me use my mind right. Made me use my mind right.
We gon' burn it down. Burn it down. We gon' burn it down. Burn it down. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder.
I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker.
Yeah. Show them. Yeah. Change the station with a new shit.
Tired eyes and everything we said we'd be, we just traded for a suit coat and a tie. And underneath the rows of trees, I will see you where the ocean meets the sky. Under your toes, the fire grows. You are ready for a different kind of life. You're silent for the wind is calling. You must return to the wild. You're silent for the wind is calling. You must return to the wild. night. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 Bring that beat back. Are you ready? I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
And I do believe we are live, coming at you again with the Overwatch 2 regular season for the MAAC conference. Today's game is going to be Rider University versus Siena College. And as usual, you hear my ugly ass voice. I mean, beautiful ass voice. I mean, which one is it? I got to have confidence or I got to degrade myself. It don't matter what it is. But You already know me, who I am, but who am I going to be joined with today? As I transition into our casters, I am currently joined by Bean and Nourishment. However, what we do not see on the screen right now, would you like to introduce yourself, random person in the call right now?
Hi, it's me, Life, and now I leave. I just wanted to say hi. Bye.
Life being a Siena player as well, so we'll see them shortly without having to hear their voice for so long. But we get to see their skills in play. But moving on from that fact, Bean and Nourishment, would you two like to introduce yourself, starting with Bean?
Huh? We started?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So, welcome everyone. I'm Bean from Iona. We're here to watch the Siena versus Ryder game. I'm very excited for this game.
I take it as my turn. Hi,
Yeah.
silence. I am Nourishment from Siena, and I don't go there anymore. But
But
yeah,
yeah, just like me, I am also a Rider alumni, but
All right.
we do not say that part. Anyway, yeah, Bean, where were you?
All right. No. It was a bit. It was a bit.
This
Trust.
this man invading us. Why are I just saw Rider
All right.
University
I just
starting
saw
to
them join, didn't they?
they were in the lobby and now
they're
they're
gone.
all leaving. As we start this show, we were expecting them to get in and get into this real quick, but I guess since we're going to be waiting for this team known as Rider University to feed in, and let's just talk about, I guess, who we have right in front of us, Siena, for a quick second. Now, Nourishment, you have been on the cast before, and I'm not fully remembering what was said last time, but we're here today, and you being an alumni, what kind of information can you tell us about Siena, both from your time and I guess maybe if you know anything about them right now?
Yeah. Funny you should say that. From my time at Siena to now, the team has changed quite a lot. We've seen players come and go, and some people also change roles. So there's a lot of new stuff that we're seeing now. But I'm excited to see how this game will go. We Yeah, what I'm excited to see is we've been seeing a lot more of Mr. Altitude on the tank lately. Um, a lot of the other roles have been pretty consistent, but I know he's been a little bit more of a versatile, versatile between the roles. But overall, I think, we'll see some nice gameplay. I can run through the roster if you'd like a little kind of who's on what today, most likely.
If you, I guess you wouldn't, if you wouldn't mind doing that, because like I know we've been here before, but we were earlier in the season, and as you said, Mr. L2 being one of the more flexible players, I do believe back a while ago we saw him on that support positions, and currently sitting in a different spot for the lobby setup. Yeah, if you want to run down what everybody will be.
Yeah.
We've also seen Mr. Altitude on DPS. If you want to just go through the
Yeah,
entire
he's
lineup.
all through the roles. Today, I believe it is the same lineup as the last Rider game. We're gonna have Mr. Altitude on the tank, Static and Chunk on the DPS, and Life and Bailey on the support. I think we'll see some overlap in heroes from last time. I know Life in particular is very excited to be out of BAP jail. And we might see they played some Kiri last game, but we're going to see a lot more Kiri from them, I think, this game, which they're very excited for. See some maybe Zarya or Ram from Mr. Altitude. I know we saw a lot of that in the last Rider Siena game. And I know we had a lot of really great Reaper gameplay from Static. Though we might see some Venture from them as well. Some Sojourn from Chunk. And Bailey on the Juno is my anticipated lineup, though we'll see how Riders lining up their roster as well and how those will
I have a
interact.
pretty good guess for Ryder's lineup today, unless they're trying something new.
If there are
I'm just
anything inevitable in this world, it is corked on one character
Yeah, it is
and one
corked.
character only.
on Junker Queen, obviously. I'm gonna say Grizz on Genji, Lasers on Soj, Ryan on that Lucio, and Kowalski on Kiri. I feel like that's just the star rider lineup right there. that they run solidly. They probably swap the Genji off for Mei occasionally if they need to, but I think that's a solid rider lineup that they're going to be running today, unless they try something with Diva today.
We have been seeing that Diva peek her head out for a little bit, but ultimately always going back to that big Australian woman Quirk's comfort pick at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what they have to offer, especially with the newfound success that Ryder has been having recently. It's been kind of interesting to watch. As a team, being specifically Iona has in contest with Ryder for that fifth place spot on the leaderboard. How do you feel Ryder has been performing lately? I know you beat them ultimately at the end of the day, but doesn't mean you can't respect what the opponent has to offer.
Oh yeah, I found the game to be very fun overall. My team really wanted to win, so I decided to take myself out and really watch it more. A lot of great angles were played from both sides during the Iona versus Ryder game. I think on some occasions we had some overextensions on both the Ryder and Iona side. Miscommunications definitely happened on Iona's side. Ryder, we saw use some ults at some weird times, but every single fight was just stagnant and long as hell. Every round went to 99-99. It was a really great game to see and to play in as well.
Was an enjoyable game to see, even though I'm supposed to be Ryder biased, but I am not. I am just simply a caster for the MAAC at this point in time.
Okay.
I enjoy every team there is, but Ryder putting up a good fight against you guys, but at the end of the day, the better team does technically win.
I liked their or recently Iona also had a match against Niagara, and that one was a Niagara win, which is very interesting to see. That's the second time Niagara beat Iona, but here we're starting the fight, first fight of the match with Grizz on the Mei, shooting across on the enemy team. They're running a Ramatra comp, and I wasn't expecting Siena to run a Ramatra comp here against Ryder, assuming Ryder was going to run the Queen, but they also decided to run the Ramatra. And now we're looking off the wall of Mei as well. Trying to look for an opening pick here again. It's going to be a slow fight until someone finds a side. But Mr. Altitude forcing point, having Quark to walk down point as well. Both Ramatra shields are used. And Adventure in the backline distracting. But Adventure by herself can surely not get a kill on the Juno. As we see Venture fall back, but then Quark decides to overextend, losing his life to Bailey.
Quark not necessarily playing Ramatra as often as we expect, and he is going to be the first to fall here. I don't know if that's just inexperience or just overextension on his part, but he is the first to fall in the overall fight.
And see Static for a moment, they're really honing in on lasers. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some Venture flank in there to take out that Sojourn.
Sojourn getting poked out a little bit. Chunk in the backline, just tossing arrows into the backline of Ryder right now. For right now, Chunk is actually Static is going to be diving onto lasers and getting that kill right now, opening up as Ryder does push into the backline, but it's not going to be going anywhere just yet. The only person that's going to be doing some damage is Static right now, and Ryder is currently down to 3 members, and they are just trying to hunker down, trying to stabilize, but going into that hallway for safety, it's not really good when a dragon can fly through the walls like it's absolutely nothing. And currently, Siena in complete charge of this point so far, 58% and counting.
Now, what I think Ryder needed in that situation was to get out of the little hallway. Ryder was just confined into a little hallway with both supports stuck in there. Chunk ready with the ult, popping the ult, killing both supports, hurting the Ryder's chance of even trying to attempt that fight.
Quick ultimate charge for the side of Chunk as he is about to get jumped on immediately. Quark pushing past the entire team. That is Siena with the Nano in tow to punch out his opposition, going exactly back to Mr. Altitude, ignoring the tank at first, but coming back when he needs to kill him, because everybody else was dead already. Team kill for the side of Ryder, and now they are in control of the point, but 85% on the side of Siena. One more take of this point will most likely spell the end of this round, so let's hope that can happen. For the sake of Siena, at least.
We saw both Nano and Kitsune go down there in equal trade for both sides. Siena trying to look for profit off of the rush, but getting Mr. Altitude getting slept by Kowalski. Unfortunately, not being able to move. Ryder saw the opportunity, nanoed, and decided to push through. Now we're looking for an opening on any side. So We can start the fight here. We have Maywall going down with Static pushing in, trying to find a pick. Mayfreeze coming out, finding Bailey and Chunk frozen in the back. Chunk with the kill on Grizz, and we have Mr. Altitude popping ult on point, killing lasers, running down for Ryan, and now trying to find Corked, as Corked and Kowalski are the last two alive from the side of Ryder, seeing if they can make any play here whatsoever. I would say very good fight from the side of Siena, splitting up Ryder entirely there, not allowing Ryder to get together and group to get one last push in here. 93%. See the satellite vector coming out. Suzu saving life from intimate death, and Siena takes the first round.
Kind of an interesting play coming in from Ryder, changing up the composition. It seems like they have the right intentions. I think Grizz opening up that fight with the Mei ultimate to try to split off the team was a good idea. It does freeze up one, but Chunk jumps out with the Hanzo double dash and puts an arrow into Grizz's head, denying any value from that ultimate. And then at that point in time, the team just regrouped and supported Mr. Altitude on point, taking out the rest of the Ryder team. So yeah, it was a good idea, but did not go their way. Chunk denying any value for Ryder. I don't know if Ryder is going to keep running this composition down. This might be... It's going to be interesting. One thing I wanted to talk mid of that conversation, of that fight, we are going to be seeing perks start to come online, and Cork not necessarily being the player to play Ramatra. I wonder which perks he's going to choose for Ramatra. I think both these tanks do have the same one. I believe it's the one where continuous fire translates into a big burst shot. Both these tanks are going to be putting up the arms and coming in for the fight. Life is going to be taking out Grizz right now, and Cork is really looking for the kill onto Mr. Altitude, but keeping those arms up does deny, what, 70% damage, and it is going to allow him to get healed up by his team. Right now, Ryder is not in full control, but they are not out of this fight just yet. They are just pulling back, playing a little safer, but Static is on the hunt for the backline of Ryder University. They are going to be pushing up a little too far as three members are there to meet him, and eventually he is going to fall. Right now, Cork is going to be going aggressive. Now that that one kill is there, he is going to be looking to push past everybody, go past. Hey, look for the kills. Life is almost out of theirs, but it's not going to be enough. Cork does have to disengage as there is a Ramatra beating up on his team, and he does body block him for a brief moment, but he doesn't secure the kill. At this point in time, Cork is really struggling to find these kills right now. Grizz gets one. Static falls as well. Ryder is kind of in control, but Chunk is being a bit of a bully right now for the side of Ryder, not allowing so much to happen, but it's not going to matter at the end of the day. Given enough time, Ryder will push onto this point and take it. Better than the last time, not at 85%, 40% this time, and Ryder is in control.
Given with the fact that the fight initially started with points still being closed, that was about 3 consecutive fights in a row. Ryder was really struggling to find any opening pick and group up. I saw the funniest thing with Kowalski just kind of standing right next to Ryan and just not healing him. It was really, really funny. But even with the pick down, they still maintained their space and held that area. Now we see Ramatra ult coming out from Cork as he finds one, but Grizz gets taken out by Mr. Altitude. We're still holding this very stagnant fight, but Static coming in and almost getting the pick on lasers. We have a Ramatra duel happening on point at the same time right now.
Cork's not getting the healing he kind of needs. Or Kowalski needs to actually get into position, but peeking her head out would ultimately spell death. The Juno ultimate is what's going to actually be doing the work for Ryder right now. Keeping him alive, keeping him sustained, giving him that speed, giving him that heal. Everything is going in his favor, but 9 HP and a dream is not going to go his way. Right now, Mr. Altitude frozen. Grizz does have to reload, just standing there, hoping for praise from his team to keep them dead. And eventually, Mr. Altitude does fall. Ryder maintain this point, but at what cost? Both these teams are dead. Who could get back to the point faster? I think it's anyone's game right now if they can rush the point, but I do think Ryder is going to be able to regroup in time.
Ryder definitely groups in time here. That was a very interesting fight to see from both of them. Both teams split each other up and had their own individual fights. Very well fought by each side. And now as we close over on the Ramatra side, we see Mr. Altitude kind of pushing him by himself, no support really. But Static comes in from the air, trying to help find an opening pick. And the Dragons come out from Chunk, trying to assist Static in any way he can.
Yeah, Grizz was in that ice block, but those Dragons were coming through. But he could just walk out with full HP, taking a little bit. But Static is looking for that kill onto Grizz. But that ice block is back in time. It's got that damaging field with that perk. It's kind of interesting. It slows down Static, does some damage. And finally, Ryder is getting the kills early on. They are not the first to be picked, and they are not the first to go down this time. And we are going to point 3, and I believe that is going to be Icebreaker remaining for this map.
I think a very well-timed OC came out from lasers there. We see Venture with no cooldowns whatsoever, and Lasers decides to just pop that OC and start deleting people from the screen to win Ryder that final fight for the point, bringing them into the third round here for map.
Now I know us two have been talking so much, yapping that Nourishment hasn't been able to say anything. You have any ideas about
you guys
what's
have
been
really
going on?
You guys have really covered it. I think at this point this really could be anybody's map. We had a really strong start from Siena, but Ryder really brought it back in that second one. So I'm excited to see how this third map will play out. You guys have really had it covered. I don't know.
Never feel afraid to cut in.
Simple one-liners like somebody got shot is always welcome. This ice wall is going to be denying or adding so much pressure onto Mr. Altitude. He is taking a lot of damage with no heals, but the damage from Ryder was not there. It was not focused, and Mr. Altitude does live. But for how much longer is he gonna? The arms are gonna come out for both of these players. They are gonna get that burst healing right now. Cork just looking for anything he can find, and he ain't gonna find anything. But Rye Guy is gonna be the one to find life at the end of the day. Static is also gonna fall. Lasers with the headshot. Now the rest of Siena are gonna be pressured on. The speed ring comes out, but Cork is gonna be losing most of his HP. But is it gonna be enough for the side of Siena? He finally gets the kill on to Chunk as his life does get chunked out. Mr. Altitude finally goes down. Life does return to the fight at the last second with that TP, but it's not going to be enough as Ryder turned this point over into their favor.
Pre-fight, I saw something very interesting come out from the side of Siena. I saw Static just kind of exist in the backline of Ryder. Ryder trying to figure out a way to kill Static, but at the same time not supporting Cork, having Cork engage on his own fights while trying to just look at Static. Eventually, Static did get a little bit too cocky and ended up costing him his life, losing the advantage on Ryder that they had.
Static working his way into the backline right now. I'm not watching it just yet, but I know he's there working it. Grizz with this ultimate in tow. Probably going to pop in a second. No, he's not going to be able to get the chance to do so. That probably would have locked up a couple targets for Ryder to capitalize on. Right now, Cork is actually going to be popping ultimate and immediately diving the supports. Bailey, Life immediately falling. Cork knows his targets and he takes them out perfectly. No heals for the side of Mr. Altitude. And now Chunk has to make it out.
Chunk.
But Lasers gets him at the tail end.
Oh, see the Reaper coming out from Static now.
Static said it's time for me to finally do something about this Ramatra attacking my backline instead of distracting their backline and my team not capitalizing. So he swapped over to the Reaper. I think he's going to hard focus Cork here, get him off point, get him off of the game, and force Ryder to start backing up.
However, your statement is, as much as I was gonna agree with you seeing Static do that, Static actually still works his way into the backline and it still cost him his life, being the first to fall in this fight. Cork finds 2 off the back end of that kill. Make it 3! Chunk being the third to fall. Now 4, Mr. Altitude. And everyone is a team kill. Static. I thought he was gonna run in with the Mr. Altitude and brawl like you were saying at the start of that, but it was just not in his agenda to do so. Was he not finding the success on the Venture? I thought they were doing pretty well with that.
I think he was doing very well on that Venture. He was distracting that backline, but I don't think his team was capitalizing the opportunity unless Cork just had that much of a presence on the enemy team, or on Siena, that they couldn't do anything even with Static's distraction in the Ryder backline.
Kind of an interesting swap, but interesting plays to technically come out of that.
I
But
was
Yeah.
really. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. No, I do have to give props to the Siena supports there because I noticed a lot of times that Mr. Altitude was really on the brink of death there. And every time I thought he was about to go down, those supports, they kept him standing, and I really respect that. So, at the end, in the end, it was not enough, but for those fights and the moments that it did help them out, that was really well played by them.
Overall, well played map by both Ryder and Siena. Siena taking the first point of that map and almost kind of continuing it with second point. I think Ryder might have found the strategy, and then once they found the strategy, they started to capitalize on it more. But man, I really wish that Static there would have just focused the main issue of the Ramatra instead of kind of going into his backline as he was with his Venture. His Venture was really well played, completely distracting Ryder, but I think what they needed was a little bit more frontal pressure on the Ramatra.
I agree. I think Static had good intentions there, diving the back line, going after that Sojourn, but unfortunately, where that pressure was needed, it wasn't quite applied.
Not
Sometimes
like I said initially, good idea, but not applied correctly at the end of the day. But yeah, one thing we talked about a little bit, I believe this was off stream. I don't think we were live just yet, but the map selection has been made and we're already in the map. Nourishment, what are your ideas on this map specifically?
I don't have many specific ideas, but I do know that Siena was actually pretty excited at the idea of potentially playing Dorado. They are looking, in general, to perhaps play more dive maps against Ryder, with Ryder being generally, especially with that Queen, a more brawl-oriented team. Granted, we've seen some different compositions from them, and now seeing the Diva coming out from Quarked, that's not quite going to come out the way that they might have expected it, but
the Zarya in tow. This is kind of interesting from both teams. Did Siena plan on trying to force the funny Diva comp? Because I know Ryder has been practicing this a bit, maybe in scrims potentially against Siena, because I know they've been scrimming a lot together. So maybe they tried forcing this Diva comp on from Cork since they know he's very uncomfortable with it just yet. But yeah. Bean, how do you feel about this map going into it as we saw Cork on Diva? Kind of a crazy take already.
I think Static just has to kind of keep doing his job of distracting the backline here, separating Quark from the rest of his team. Quark is moving around pretty nicely here on Diva, but they do have the counter with the Zarya straight up, not even giving him a chance to breathe on this Diva. Already getting him out of MAAC.
charge.
Oh,
These Zarya full charge, just kind of walking in on Quark, allowing 1-2 kills and possibly 2 more here on the side of Kowalski and Trunk, and Lasers.
Yeah, huge play by Mr. Altitude. Siena has, it seemed, been practicing a lot of Zarya-oriented comps, so this is something that it seems that they're pretty well versed in at this point, so it'll be exciting to see how they fare this match.
I'm seeing a Reinhardt now.
what is happening?
I think Cork is going through a little bit of a waiting for his team, and he decided to pick the Reinhardt here to counter the Zarya. But I'm really interested on how he's going to try and counter. He's going to try 10 PP.
Oh,
That's what he was waiting for. I was like, is there going to be a sim? I didn't even actually see the sim get locked in, but it's exactly what they need to get up here and basically be a dive Reinhardt. He is going to be finding 2 immediately. Maybe make it. Actually, no, still 2. Cork on the back end. Like Bailey is just going to be in his back. Ooh, but the ultimate
huge grab
built
by Mr.
up from Mr. Altitude early enough. But the nade and the healing from the squad of Ryder are going to keep him alive just yet. It was a good ultimate from Mr. Altitude, but the healing was just too strong for some reason. That was crazy sustain. Grizz is going to get poked out right now. Almost.
That was very well played by both Ryder and Siena. Siena, unfortunately, not having the healing to be out there and capitalize on that ult. But meanwhile, Ryder here playing their life, waiting for their tank to get back to allow themselves to keep another push. And we're calling with a pause here. Someone seems to have disconnected and or crashed.
Cork needs to pause since he is the lobby leader.
there we go.
Oh, now they're calling good. Court, you gotta be faster on this. Use the hotkeys.
Oh, someone's lagging.
I forgot.
All right,
I
it
have
seems
chat.
it seems someone almost DC'd here. They're both. It seems like both sides are ready. However, with the
The
fights so
quality Siena
far,
Wi-Fi.
with the fights we're seeing so far, what are you
Oh,
guys thinking of these fights? I definitely. Oh, there goes Grizz.
wait, complaining about lag from the Siena side, but Grizz is the first to exit the lobby is not what we were expecting. Kind of interesting so far. A lot of time it has been burnt so far off of Ryder's time bank. What has it been? 2 minutes already? 2.5 minutes about.
Yeah,
And
about.
Oh no. Server issues.
I think I might see. Oh, this might just be Ryder for at least Ryder side.
No, because we have Bailey leaving now too as
Yeah,
well.
we're seeing a couple of
Another
DCs.
issue we're gonna see with this is the loss of ultimates from Grizz, Static, and Bailey here.
Oh
Um,
no.
this could really turn the tides for Ryder here, as they're still gonna have Nano and Beat coming up, while Ryder has Kitsune and three players left compared to, well, essentially Ryder's four from one DC. This pause went from something that was fine to something that kind of turned in the tables and interesting. I won't lie.
Blizzard moment. Blizzard trying to intervene on what is happening here right now.
I'm
Huh.
agreeing with Life here. Ryder versus Sienna is just too powerful. The servers cannot handle this matchup right now.
It never could handle the map fives, the map six that we do. It's just funny times. But this is kind of strong. It is kind of harsh for the. I figured it was just like a DC for a second, but every player has stopped playing Overwatch. Is there something wrong with? Ooh, I actually think I saw an error on my part for a brief hot
I
second.
am getting 300 to 400 ping. I think there might be an issue.
There's definitely server
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
We
So
might need to replay this map. And when that happens, I'm not sure if we're
That's going to be unfortunate for Sienna because all that time they burned down on point one here, they're going to have to re-hold that.
hopefully it's not a problem. Hopefully this solves itself shortly. But I don't know if we're gonna be able to continue this game at this rate because everyone is dying.
yeah. Well, we're still only down two from the side of Sienna and one from the side of Ryder.
Oh, latency
So,
Yeah.
dropping. Nope, now going
oh,
back up.
oh, I have lost connection to the game.
Oh,
Up mine.
there
All right.
goes Bean.
So this match will have to be replayed here. I'm kind of interested on how this replay will go. It's very unfortunate for Sienna, but I think we might be seeing
Oh,
the same comp coming out.
latency seemed to have recovered. I'm back down to 40 ms.
Yeah, I'm looking good too.
I got kicked out of the game. I'm in queue,
This
guys.
is so
I'm in
strange.
queue.
Static said he got full booted as well.
Nope, it's shooting
Okay,
back.
folks
Nope,
are arriving back.
but so is the latency.
Oh no, yeah.
So it seems like we're just having battle issues.
Everybody say thank you, Blizzard.
The more people we get back in this server, the worse it gets.
I just leave that one and we'll switch up a little bit lobby. Just in
Besides
case.
that Ryder, we only have four maximum players. They're not even allowed to have a fifth.
I'm not even sure if this is necessarily this server thing because
I'm using
Yeah.
Q for people to play.
damn, I'm assuming all Blizzard crashed. This is not anticipated, people. All right, we're taking this to Marvel Rivals. Those servers are still stable, right?
Please no.
Those servers are more stable than any Blizzard server.
Don't get me wrong, Marvel Rivals is probably an objectively better game. I played it once and it just would not function. And it's a me problem. I have to fix it. Oh my gosh.
We're losing everybody. Mr. Altitude gone.
Oh no.
I think he just left to like remake the lobby, but I don't think that's gonna solve the current issue at hand. Because I
No,
do
unfortunately not.
believe it's an overall latency issue. Even I believe Dax, our previous caster, who's in the chat, lovely Dax, I believe he has mentioned he is getting issues even in his games.
Oh, I got a bing. It's not you, it's us issue. What the hell?
It's not you, it's us issue.
Yeah.
The entire internet is dying.
And it's our fault.
Streamer
It's
fix audio,
his game.
please. Oh no.
Don't know what is happening. I cannot necessarily fix audio without hearing it and then y'all hearing it on stream again.
Guys, the internet went down.
Actually, maybe I can hear. Let me see. Nope, there is no audio from that, so I can actually play. What's it called? Okay, I don't think it's my audio is bad. I think it's the fact that their streams might have needed to be refreshed because I get those audio issues across all streams if like
Already
it
playing.
buffers. So yeah, I just listened back to my own audio. I did not hear an issue, guys. Don't gaslight me. Streamer fix audio. I can't fix what's not broken.
It is just an Overwatch issue.
Ah, I think I think this needs to be a reschedule at this rate. Corked is not even. Is he even in the server right now? Oh, he's in the general chat discussing with the captains. It's a captain's chat right now. Oh,
Oh,
everybody, the captain left the game, so now the game is
oh,
unpausing.
we're
Uh,
back.
Chunk is
Oh,
nope.
falls to life. Well, Lasers is taking the opportunity to push the payload.
uh
I will check in on the captains here.
yeah, please do.
There you go, life.
Life never being a captain. Doesn't know how to do the lobby. But I do think it seems like the lobbies have stabilized for the time being. So it's kind of interesting what is happening. Now, I know part of me would like to go hear what is happening, but that does take away audio from everybody, so I would just be talking to myself. I would sound very schizo for a bit. So we're not going
I
to do
mean,
that.
what could possibly make this game weirder right now, you know?
Hmm. Suddenly Maris players join. That would make it weirder. No, I'm just
That would
kidding.
make it weirder, yeah.
My favorite things being when we would play quick play and find other teams there, like Niagara we've ran into
Oh,
before,
yes.
Siena, like yeah, if we could just do that, but make it a comp game.
Yeah, I think we've run into each other a couple times before, Sienna and Ryder.
Indeed, I believe we have. One weird thing I saw the other day was a player, he was swapping accounts, but he did it right after he finished a game, and then like the victory slash progression screen you get afterwards for like your SR and stuff popped up on the other account for a second, and it was very
Oh,
confusing. This game is very buggy,
it's
indeed.
a small indie company. You gotta cut them some slack.
Maybe. I'm gonna ask for ownership so I could turn back on skins. They won't
Oh,
notice.
yeah.
I
I,
am back.
I
So we are waiting for players to load back into the game. The captains would like to restart the round here.
I believe it's a little bit fair because the lobby did kick off as soon as the owner did leave the lobby, so stuff was going on. They were still playing the game when they really shouldn't have. So only seems right.
Well,
However,
we're giving the players are given 5 minutes to log back in with queues and everything, and after 5 minutes, captains will reconvene to discuss if they want to wait a little bit longer or reschedule the match.
Oh, fair enough. I think, in all fairness, I do believe the lobbies were stabilizing. If we could get into a map and see if that is the case. If not, my personal suggestion is waiting, but that is up for the captains to decide and these teams. I think while we wait, I'm gonna send us back to the basic starting screen as we just wait for these teams to reconvene. So, everybody who's still in chat, we will be back shortly. Please give us around 5 minutes. But until then, we'll see you soon.
I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight, we will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight, yeah. We are heroes tonight, we will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight, I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Cracky.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Clear sky. Where am Without you, I remember myself, my name. Forgot about all you tried to change. Familiar. attention. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out.
In the dark we fight. You take the wrong and you make it right. Like a firefly, you're glowing at night.
Moment just so we could just say that I do believe that these teams are looking to finish the game tonight. Servers are still being a little iffy. Some players are trying to get back.
Oh,
Some
back
people's
in.
computers are trying to recover. Most players are here, including Bean coming back himself. All we need to do is wait for static, but until then, we will once again remain in the waiting room up
I think we've also
until.
lost Grizz.
Oh, Grizz just. Oh, great. Cool. I'm gonna send it back to the starting screen, and hopefully we'll be back shorter rather than later. But until we get back into this game, enjoy the music.
So don't make it hard, don't let me go. I wanna hold you tight when you're cold. I'm waiting for your love, you just keep me hanging on. I deserve to stay, and I will find my way. I will find my way.
The fire makes the city look so bright. Close your eyes and just stay tight. We have to go. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay while we leave. Stay with me.
drown.
In 3, 2, 1, I'm saying this on stream all as is. I'm just praying to God, just full send this right now, because as we get everybody back on, don't even wait, go! Don't prod army, let us go. We've been waiting for so long, but all the players are finally back into the lobby. It does appear like we are going to be getting a reset of the entire map of Dorado. It only makes sense as the whole servers did shut down, so there's no way of recovering that. We do not have the technology like most professional esports do to send us back to the specific time that we once were at. But going back onto this map, we are gonna start Dorado once again. Both you, are you still with me? Are we all alive?
You know, I'm getting this
still
crazy
here.
deja vu.
Oh God! You gotta change the what's it called, the scoreboard again. Okay, there we go. We are good now.
Well, we're finally getting back to this game. Wait, Doom.
Oh god. Yeah, we're seeing a whole different lineup from Ryder over there. And a
Siena
different one
as
from
well.
Siena as well.
Wait. Bailey in the
Yeah.
wrong spot for my mental as a caster, but you know, it's whatever. We have to go on with this. But swapping to Diva, but the Doomfist being the option elected for the side of Ryder, they do have 15 seconds to make a change if they want to. They might be bamboozling us. We've seen this before with
Yeah,
teams.
but we see here Siena with the Diva not seen before as he was playing Zarya before, assuming that he thought maybe a counter or the counter wouldn't work anymore. He swapped over to the Diva. But I guess we're committing on this Doom Echo comp here. Almost getting a pick on the Kiri. Now Mr. Altitude on top fighting the supports. Corked on the bottom trying to find a pick, but Chunk finds a pick on Ryan, then Static comes in and kills Grizz, securing the positions for Siena here.
Oh, we do see skins are turned on, finally. We get interesting bits now.
You got the tanks battling.
Tanks are stuck in this building.
Fingers.
Static and Chunk doing an initial job in the first fight to open it up for Siena. But right now, it looks like Siena's on the run. But Static is actually going to get a pick onto Grizz, who's trying to get into the backline. But Venture does have a good amount of burst damage. Lasers trying to return onto Chunk, but Lasers is also going to be losing their life at the same time. Static doing a good job of holding this for Siena. Right now, the point has not moved anywhere. It hasn't even turned this initial corner, which most teams elect to do. But Ryder, actually, for some reason, is still in control. Spawn advantage is on their side. So even though if they die, they might come back a lot faster than you kind of expect. Right now, Mr. Altitude trying to stop this payload and get a pick onto, say, Lasers, who gets extremely low. But everybody is full HP right now.
And Static's here on the top looking for an entrance into the back again. He's known for just trying to get in there, being caught out by the Echo and the Tracer, almost dying, luckily having that dig to get himself underground while we have both supports kind of pushing point here. Very well played earlier by Mr. Altitude, protecting Static from dying from the Doomfist and the rest of the enemy team. Now Mr. Altitude up here out of the front line, low on HP, gets lasered by the Echo.
Not
Maybe
electing
see the
to
carry
use
get
that
popped.
MAAC. Not electing for a refresh bomb, but it is gonna be the rest of his team falling anyway, so it's a good thing he saved it. But maybe they could have like rallied behind the bomb going out and they could have ran this back, but instead they elect just to back out and give up this point. Ryder taking it a lot faster than what they were initially before the server issues, so they have a lot more time on the bank going into the second point. Cork taking to that high ground, immediately disrupting Chunk's positioning and pushing him into death, coming from the side of Ryder. Right now, Cork has no HP, but does have that ultimate to take off if he needs to, but he chooses not to use it just yet. Static in a bad position, saying heyo to his team, but that was just heyo to death coming his way. Right now, Cork trying to aggress onto this Diva. Right now, not giving up a lot of HP. Ryan bouncing his way up here, trying to disrupt this high ground. They're not trying to let them control it. If Ryder can make sure they have her free in. Chunk actually opting into the Tracer fight, going into the backline. But it might be kind of dangerous going into, say, what's it called? The Moira. The orbs and the auto-locking right-click is not going to do well. Lasers poking her head up into a place where she didn't need to. Getting it caught off by Static right away. And now Ryder is going to be losing 2 members, possibly make it 3. Kowalski on the run. And Chunk is not letting her go just yet. I am messing up my camera work right now. Oopsies. But it's okay.
Overall, really well played by both Siena and Ryder there. I see what Ryder is trying to go for in this situation now. So Ryder is playing the Doom to just distract the D.Va, make the D.Va use cooldowns and focus all on Quark, while we have lasers shooting from afar coming in and then using her beam just to finish off anything that was low. So the main point is to get the D.Va off the high ground here with Doom, just completely distract this D.Va, and when you see the opportunity, Quark here, full punch power, finding the back, waiting for the perfect opportunity. He goes, misses the punch.
Doesn't necessarily. He saw his targets, but they drop immediately, and eventually he knocks down the D.Va, forcing the bomb out, and it's not going to find anybody. Lasers now on that D.Va bomb, and Quark taking down, or coming down from the high ground. Meteor Strike does crash down and finds nobody. Static is actually going to be the first to find the person in this fight, but he is going to be returned. Lasers getting that kill, and right now it seems kind of even. DPS for DPS. Actually, no, wait, who fell? Doesn't matter. Right now, Ryder in a bit of a position. Quark's looking for the damage that he needs, and he finds a kill onto Chunk. The beat comes out from Lucio right now, and he is going to keep his tank alive. Ryan doing a good job with that. And right now, Quark just being very disruptive, but now it's Static turn, as he is going to be going into the backline with the excavation initiation. He is going to find one. He's going to find damage onto multiple, and the follow-up is going to be there for Siena right now, trying to capture this fight onto Quark right now. And Kowalski on the run, but Chunk is not going to let her go. Once again, finding that kill in basically the exact same position. As before. Right now, kind of a bit of a hectic game going on. Quark running around, ulting around, D.Va bombs going out, Echo ult coming out to add another D.Va bomb to this. Static on the flank. Gonna be looking for that kill, that assassination attempt. He almost goes down as he does get knocked into the air and falls to the ground, but he is not picked off until he enters the ground anyway, so he's able to heal up right now. Zero Suit D.Va online for Mr. Altitude, but it doesn't matter. It does eventually go his way, and he is going to get that mech. The dig is there for him, but it almost costs, it's probably going to cost their life. That's kind of hard to say in that moment, because the TP came through to try to save Static, but Static was kind of out safe anyway with the, the dig. Quark misses a punch, which means he misses the shield. Mr. Altitude immediately gets the kill and begins to aggress. Chunk and Mr. Altitude pushing up to try to get these kills. It is 3 members of Ryder versus 3 members now of Siena, but the meteor torpedoes are homed in onto lasers. No HP and a Dream flying out as fast as she can, but you can't outrun the torpedo when it's already locked on.
I think we're seeing a bit of a change in gameplay here from the right side of Siena. Siena has finally started noticing that Quark is just kind of existing in their front line just to get in Mr. Altitude's face. Mr. Altitude now trying to help out Static in any way that he can to secure the pick. Static in the backline as always. We see the Meteor Strike coming out, flying up into the air, looking for a pick, trying to find Static again. Satellite Vector being played, punching Static, and Bailey finding kill. Bailey on Quark. Static clutching up, killing Lucio, and Moira dies, securing the point for Siena here.
Securing the point for Siena indeed. It is going to be a good round, but Ryder still has the potential to hold this if they so choose it. They just have to play this properly. It's a different kind of game I'm seeing right now, and I'm very lost myself, in all honesty.
No, we saw 2 completely different team comps from the way that this map started the first time. And I was a little worried there for Siena with all of that, all of that hold time that they lost when we had to restart here. But they had a really great hold there right before the threshold of that last section of the map there. So
yeah, with both team comps being completely different from last time, it does bring a very interesting perspective of what was going on last time. Last time we had Siena trying to just hold high ground the entire time. We saw it being relayed again last round on second point, but although second point being a very heavy high ground, we saw Quark from the side of Ryder coming up and just contesting the high ground the entire time, allowing his team and Court to just kind of be pushed around on the side. We had Static going into the back, like usual, finding his 1-2 picks, but what I see Ryder doing now is instead of leaving Static B, they keep calling out Static on his cooldowns, and they're finding the picks on Static that they needed to find, which is why they were able to push up so far in second. And coming up from that, we see a Winston coming from the side of Mr. Altitude, trying to look for an opening here, but the Queen comes out from Ryder as well.
Going back to their comfort indeed to try to put as much pressure onto this enemy team that is Siena. They really do not want to give up this point. Seems like they were just trying things, but now they know they're in a bit of a dangerous spot, so they're not going to let it go easily. Getting that early pick with that quick rush, Grizz and Cork going into the back line, looking for these supports, but that TP is going to be there burning it. But Cork is now in a bad position, all the way touching the enemy team's spawn door, but you're going to be going back to your own. Playing like that, Cork right now, Mr. Altitude now on the charge. Static is looking for those kills, looking for that hunt, and right now Ryder is in retreat, and they are not going to be finding the kills just yet, as everybody has tools to disengage, but Kowalski in a 1v1 with Life, and Kowalski is going to get the better of them, or Life is going to get the better of Kowalski.
That's a very good pick from the side of Siena there, getting that pick on Kowalski. They should definitely be taking a lot of this space here to control it. It was really good from Ryder in the fact that they were taking that entire space and spawn, not allowing him. But once when you're holding that close up, you lose one person, you kind of lose the hold on the whole area. So Ryder now just trying to walk their way onto point, completely free, not contested whatsoever. Now playing on the inside with Mr. Altitude trying to find a jump in here. We have Static going into their backline as well, looking for the pick, being joined in by 4 of his teammates. Life TPing in, being protected by the monkey bubble from Ryan. Very well placed monkey bubble from the side of Siena there. But Mr. Static getting killed by Kowalski here, evening out the fight again, and we still have the Queen running down the backline, just being a nuisance for the side of Siena.
Now Mr. Altitude trying to do as much damage into the backline of Ryder, going for the supports, but absolutely getting ignored, but not ignored so much so that Ryan does have to place the beat to keep his team alive, but Cork is not going to be kept alive in this fight, and they are going to begin to get run over right now. Siena with 10 seconds less than what Ryder had going into the second point. But is it going to be, I think it's going to be enough for them to probably push and win this game. But like I said, we saw this before. They have technically 10 seconds left, and we've seen it done. Can Ryder hold better than Siena did?
Well, coming off of that last point, we saw Siena say, you beat doesn't matter. It's going to go away anytime soon, so we're just going to keep rushing you down. They all decided to turn on Quark, get the pick on Quark. After Quark fell, the team essentially crumbled on the side of Ryder. But now we see with Queen ult coming up here, one use of Suzu could mean the life or death of the team. We have...
Down. But it's not going to be needed. It's not going to be needed, though, I don't think, just yet.
But Bailey finding the kill on Grizz with the missiles there was huge. Static trying to live his life while being attacked by Quark in the backline, having support by Chunk and Static. Getting the kill, or Mr. Altitude coming back, getting the kill on Quark. Now they have to come and take the space to win the point here. Mr. Altitude up in the face of Ryder. Ryder trying to regroup and reconfigure before the last fight of the match here. Rygon coming in.
Approach this with an incomplete team.
But they have to
lost
go.
the pace pretty late, yeah.
Kirk Ultimate does come out, but so does everything from the side of Siena. The beat, the Carnage does come in from Cork, and he is going to sustain with a lot of HP on block, but I don't think it's going to be enough just yet for him. Actually, no, it is. Mr. Altitude is unable to get this kill. Right now, it's just Life trying their best to finish this fight off, but it's not going to do anything when you have 4 members of Ryder right there looking at you. Ryder needs to hold for 2.5 minutes. This payload cannot cross this final point, which is right here.
Now this is heavily in the advantage of Siena here. They're coming in with Monkey Ult and Chunk almost on that pulse bomb here. Meanwhile, Siena or Ryder used every single ult that fight just to contest, having beat only at 50%. Now we have Static coming in through the top, trying to find an opening pick. He finds the Kiri, forces Kiri to TP, but we see the Suzu coming out on the side of Siena. Static getting picked by Quarked and Lasers on top, doing some DPS, finding Bailey. Having Siena reset here for a fight. Pulse comes out from the side of Siena, finding Quark, but not enough to kill him. We see the monkey ult popping out as well, trying to find space and push Quark off of cart to secure the cap here. Mr. Altitude struggling to find the push off on Quark. Quark living with just 1 HP and then dying, not able to get shout off. We see Ryan coming back with lasers down on low ground, helping out, finding the pick on Kowalski, forcing the teleport. But the backline of Siena is taking that damage here. Bailey and Life low on HP, forcing Life to use that Kitsune rush. Grizz coming back, but getting ultimately picked by the monkey. And we have Siena taking this map.
Life adding some BM into that and dancing on the payload as it crosses the point to finish it off. A little bit toxic coming from Siena. But I kind of am a little confused at that last second brawl because Kowalski does TP in and tries to Suzu both lasers and Cork. I do believe Cork was close enough in my opinion, but he's not caught up in the Suzu, and because of it he dies shortly after it goes out, which ultimately enables the crazy amount of staggering in, and just ultimately Ryder can't do much about that. They don't have no mobility to get back to point fast enough, and they die, and Siena take map 2.
Yeah, Ryder definitely did not have the resources or group to kind of just walk onto point altogether. They have to kind of send Ryan in by himself and start this wave of stagger fighting.
We are going to see a new Queen Street band out, not giving us any time. These teams really want to go. Anyway, Nourishment, what did you want to say?
No, unfortunately, at the end there for Ryder, on that second to last fight, they really burned through most of the resources they had ult-wise. So for that last fight, it was a little doomed.
A little doomed indeed. Then we are going to be here on Coliseum. Oh my god. Coliseum, as opposed to New Queen Street, as that map was banned, a favor of Ryder University, and that's the reason why it definitely got banned. I don't know what map Siena... Actually, no. Siena is also a New Queen Street team, I believe. But in the case of... What?
I think in the case of with their monkey, they're more of a New Queen type of team. I think they opted for the Coliseum here to go back onto that Zarya, as we see. And Ryder, obviously, they're probably going to run the Queen comp here after losing that match last map. They're going to switch to that Queen comp and probably just apply some pressure to the front line. But we know that Mr. Altitude plays a pretty good Zarya here. He's going to throw in those bubbles, and we're going to have a pretty good tank fight of managing cooldowns here, I'm pretty sure.
Opting back in for their comfort pick. Mr. Altitude and the side of Siena flexing their team compositions. Chunk absolutely flexing their hero pool. I know that Hanzo was out earlier, but constantly changing heroes. I think he has the most diverse hero pool so far. Static finding the success on the Venture, going into the backline, immediately trying to get a kill, and finds one onto lasers. Looking at Kowalski right now, and 3 members of Ryder are currently dead. Ryguy has to escape, and they cannot find the kill onto the fellow support that is Kowalski. They are going to just TP out and make themselves safe for now. Bailey looking to aggress as a Juno for some reason, but it's okay. Just getting a little poke, get the torpedo damage in. Yeah. Right now,
Siena did have that good opening pick on the side of Ryder, getting Altitude low and then having him drop back and actually essentially act as bait for Quark to kind of rush in, causing Quark to die. Now we have another situation just like that, but Dig coming out, Rygum low, getting the pick on Quark again, trying to look for Ryan, but now we're going to have to rotate back up to the top. Static is low after taking a full beam charge shot from lasers, but Chunk ends up finding the pick on Kowalski, allowing Static to go in and pressure lasers. Lasers dying, and we have Quark coming back along with Ryan. Static needs to kind of get out of that area and or hold the space to continue this push for Siena. Siena here capping 50% of the way through.
That fight actually started with the opening by Static, essentially. Static pushes Quark to the payload and kind of keeps him in a bad position. He has to run around. He has to shout. He has to get help from Ryan. And ultimately, they do get caught out. And right now, Siena already having forward spawn. It is going, this payload is going pretty quick. We've seen Ryder lose in less than 3 minutes before in Siena. I don't think they're going to get just that, but at the rate that they're going, they might get it very close to doing that record once again. And they're keep running it down. They're playing their ultimates. They're getting the kills. Static being a menace to this team right now. Life getting the kill onto Grizz, and right now, Lasers and Kowalski, the siblings together, all that remain right now as they wait for their fellow team to regroup. Actually, I think Ryan was on the wrong side of town, but he does return eventually. Oof, pick from Lasers. He's going to find the kill onto Chunk, and that's immediately going to be Cork going into the backline. He waits for those openings. He has trust in Lasers, but right now it's not working as great as it should. But right now, in this fight, they are going to get that exactly the way they like it. But Cork is still going to fall. Full charge Zarya is going to get a right-click melee onto him. And right now, the bot is being turned over, but forward spawn is still an advantage of Siena.
We are seeing almost full ults on the side of both teams. Only missing Kitsune from the side of Siena.
And Blade on the side of Ryder.
The Blade's
Yeah,
coming
they're
up.
pretty close though.
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah. Kitsune is very gone. I just noticed. I just noticed which ones weren't online just yet.
It was a very smart play from what we saw from Mr. Altitude there, target and kill off Cork. Having them set equal grounds again here, right on main, but not holding the point to keep the forward. Static going in, couldn't find a pick, decides to back out, trying to find Cork, gets the perfect bubble onto Static. Unfortunately, Static does die here, and the entire team gets grabbed, but able to live and find a pick on the Czar. And the side of Ryder here decides to just kind of push up with the bot after getting the 2 picks, one important pick on Mr. Altitude and the other pick on Bailey.
Mr. Altitude with that ultimate was looking to beam down the little froggy man, make sure he can't beat fast enough, but Suzu comes in to deny, to stall out his death long enough to enable Mr. Altitude actually dying in that fight. Instead, Static looking for those kills, going into the back line, just being a menace. His dives are telegraphed, but that's kind of, it doesn't matter. And when he pops out, he's doing a lot of damage. Dragons are going to come out to disrupt the positioning of Ryder, and so is Static in the backline. Right now, being pressured from all sides. Static in your backline. Mr. Altitude on the Zarya, pushing forward to try to stop everything. The beat comes out, and it is going to sustain their team. Ryder University trying their best to get the kills that they need, but instead Chunk is here with them, trying to get the kill onto Cork, looking for more. Mr. Altitude in the side of Siena, looking for more, and Grizz is gonna fall. Bailey getting that kill finally, and Rai Guy, once again, dancing on those walls, trying to get out.
A lot of things went down that fight. The Dragon definitely to displace the entire enemy team. Mr. Altitude said, on my call, we run. They Dragon decided to run down, finding picks in the back while helping out Static as well. But Mr. Altitude just kind of absorbing all the damage of the bubbles, bubbling very well, protecting his Hanzo from dying and keeping the fight going. But we're seeing multiple ults coming out here, such as Kitsune. We saw both Kitsunes come out, and Mr. Altitude just kind of running it down on Cork. Lasers finding the pick on Life, Mr. Altitude finding the pick on Grizz again, and just continuing this push of ult trade for ult trade or walking down the backline. It seems that Cork just can't find that opportunity to walk down the backline that he likes, but Mr. Altitude is instead in that role.
Static trying their best to absolutely stagger these 3 members of Ryder, not getting the kill and ultimately falling themselves. Mr. Altitude now going to be the target, left on point alone. 4 minutes on the board is left for Ryder to keep this push going, but they are down a total of 75 meters right now.
From that one play from Lasers, I would honestly just give her MVP. She ended up killing 2, and then they collapsed onto Cork, or onto Mr. Altitude, taking back the point and pushing it up again was just beautiful.
I was trying to watch Lasers from the beginning, but everything was going so wrong for Ryder at the start that I swapped off. My bad. Ryan actually going to get the first pick. Chunk pops an arrow into him, and Static is very close to finish off the kill. But right now, Ryder is going to be on the run as Siena is looking to aggress and take this fight to them. Cork does no sustain, and he is going to fall. No speed boost for him, so he's just going to go back to spawn very fast with the help of Siena, taking him out of this fight entirely. Grizz with the blade in tow, but the Zarya with the bubble, with the Chunk, with the arrows, everything is there to stop him. I don't know if this is going to be valuable here. Right now, Lasers, though, with the ultimate online. Can do some damage as it is going to pop. This ends now, but they almost lose their life to enemy Hanzo. Right now, Lasers diving the backline like their fellow tank player. They get them low, and the follow-up damage is there. Kowalski gets 2, and Cork is going to finish off Mr. Altitude. And right now, Ryder, once again, in control of the bot, but still, they're down 74 meters. They got to start getting progress, otherwise they're just going to lose this entire game.
Lasers are kind of just popping ult, trying to find a pick. Actually, starting the engage for Ryder after everyone just kind of looks. You hear that this ends now, and you kind of just cower for your life, so you have to run away. Static getting very close to death there, but that burrow is going to keep him alive and away from any damage that could kill him. Ooh. We find the Torbnisty on point. Here comes the Grav Dragon picking off 2. Unfortunately, no beat is up from the side of Ryder to stop that Grav Dragon. Mr. Altitude there finding 2 with Chunk, getting those picks, and then moving on to push the cart back up right to where they had it last time. Ryder is going to have to find a way to regroup here. We're seeing Queen ult and Blade. Maybe they're going to try and force out that Suzu from the side of Siena before popping this Queen ult. We have 1 bubble down. We pop the Blade. Both bubbles down. Ryder should make this call to push in. Satellite Vector coming out from the side of Bailey, but not being of much assistance from that recent nerf that kind of did Juno a bit too dirty in my opinion. Ryder finds these picks, finding the kill on life and kind of securing point, but Mr. Altitude just holding the point, denying any push from Ryder, bringing it back and stalling some time for the next engagement that's most likely going to happen here at midpoint.
I've said this is the 3rd time I'm going to say this. 74 meters still remain, but now 1 minute and 8 seconds on the board for Ryder. They still have so much to gain, but they are not able to do it. Every fight they take, it gets just shattered, and right now Cork is looking to run away, has no HP. Static looking to go in, but it's a bit dangerous when there's a health pack right around the corner. Right now, Ryder in a bit of a weird position. The ultimate comes out from Cork to keep him alive, and the beat is just also going to do just that. It doesn't matter. Everything is here to keep Ryder alive, but that's the problem. They burnt so much just now. Will they have a lot for the upcoming fights? Kowalski and Lasers will have their ultimates, but like, is that going to be enough to deter all of Siena? Static, being the menace that he is going to be looking for a pick to end this fight early. He also has his ultimate. He's going to look for that support pick and then immediately turn onto all the enemies. Oh my god, the scatter arrows from Chunk. I forgot that that is a perk. That is gonna come into play, just disrupting all the flow from Ryder right now. Kitsune is gonna come out early on, and Cork is gonna immediately work his way into the backline. Big Axe gets the kill on the Chunk, and he's immediately gonna disengage, respecting this team that is Siena right now. Static is gonna be popping that. Oh my god, the dig. He's gonna come out and immediately excavation, and right now Sojourn popping their ultimate to try to get as much damage as they possibly can. Not going for the squishies just yet because all that's in her face is Mr. Altitude on that Zarya, but when she returns to the backline, there is the Static Beta to finish off the kills. Right now, in control of the point is gonna be Siena. They are gonna be taking it. Ryan returning to the point for the last second. The dragons are coming out, but what is there to kill? It doesn't matter. Siena has already won this point, and we are going to our map 4. The score is 1-2 in favor of Siena.
Those last 2 fights coming up from hitting that forward spawn and this last fight there were both very interesting fights on both sides of the team. Definitely in the occasion where Cork was pushing into the small room over by midpoint. We saw Siena just kind of coming through the back. Cork knew he could use his ult to get out, but they ended up using both Queen ult and Lucio ult, costing them their sustain for the upcoming fight that could have won them the game.
This series is not going the way I expected, and nor do I think it's going the way Ryder kind of expects.
It definitely isn't going the way I expected. My pre-game call was a 3-1 for Ryder's victory, 1 for Siena, but now I'm seeing Siena just kind of push it up. Maybe this connection issue gave Siena ideas, and they started coming together and was like, "We got the plan."
Their lag
I'm still
switching
pushing
us.
for a map 5 here.
Yeah, it
and
is.
we are
It is a Ryder
on
classic.
our way to potentially, The Siena Rider Classic.
You know what? We're getting a map 5. We already know
I
it.
sure hope so.
We already know it. Don't even play the next map. Just skip to map 5. Ryder wins that one. We're playing for what's it called? Game mode was pushed. Now we need hybrid since they went to Dorado.
The amount of map 5s we had so far in the MAAC, I think, has been a record number of map 5s. I haven't seen this many map 5s in a really long time.
And I'm kind of curious, how many of them are Ryder? How many times have Ryder been involved in map 5 so far this year? I know a good portion, but I know some higher end teams. Especially, I think I personally know of Maris going to map 5 both against Quinnipiac and recently on the cast 2 days ago, I believe it was against Mount St. Mary's. Maris kind of struggling a little bit depending on the meta against these teams, but we're not about that. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the Ryder Siena Classic right now. I know this isn't a traditional rivalry. I think the traditional rivalry in the MAAC is Canisius Niagara. That's a funny one, but yeah.
I do like seeing the big three getting those big fights in and going for those 5-5 scoring. And then we have the middle three being Ryder, Iona, and Niagara. Actually, I would call it middle four at this point with Siena fighting consistently getting these 5-5s as well. Just very, very good to see competition close in the MAAC here.
It is a good year indeed. I really enjoy it.
Now we're going to get all Queen and go back wrong for this one to the side of Ryder here. Ryder decided to bring back the combat, made them lose.
They won.
They win or lose?
They won.
Yeah, they won. So they brought the comp back that made them win last time. Probably to counter Zara, as we're seeing these bubbles coming out from altitude that just denying Cork any of his axes and or just kills.
Lasers off here on the flank, looking for a quick kill, but 2 kunais to the head are immediately going to take him out of this fight. Right now, Siena is going to be looking to just aggress as fast as they can. Go on to the side of Ryder, get the kills. Grizzly falls, and so Cork is not going to stick around. Immediately trying to escape with his life. Chunk wasn't.
But his friend Kowalski can't escape with his Cork betraying Kowalski and waking up the sleeping Hanzo just to get backshotted by Life was pretty funny, not gonna lie. We're seeing Court kind of just try and find a pick or a trade off of the death of his teammates. It wasn't really effective at that last fight, as it kind of just ended up him getting walled and both bubbles coming out from the Zarya and not enough damage coming in.
Wall does come out and is going to catch out Mr. Altitude. Both bubbles are burnt. He has no sustain, but it doesn't matter. When you have no damage on the side of Ryder, there is no target focus right now. Mr. Altitude just runs free, giving him enough time to build up these bubbles, and nobody is going to fall just yet until Grizz is going to be the first. Dragons are going to come out, and they are going to look to disrupt the positioning of Ryder. Cork going into the backline, but Mr. Altitude doing the same. Chunk getting that kill, and right now, Siena is looking to take this series with this level of play. Static being a menace in the backline. Chunk putting out a good amount of damage. And Mr. Altitude being where he needs to be with the bubbles, with the charge, with the damage. Not dying when he should. Walls come out, but it doesn't deter him. It doesn't deter the team. Right now, Ryder University are going back to spawn real quick.
And they're getting a quick pick on Grizz and Cork here. That is a stagger for the side of Ryder. Siena now has the chance to just kind of walk in their spawn and fall back to the new point to cap it with a bunch of time. What I'm seeing with this is Ryder isn't really finding the opportunities they need, but here they found the opportunity on Mr. Altitude, as Siena can't get to the point in time after being that close to Ryder spawn, giving them the disadvantage against this entire fight. But Chunk finding the pick on Kowalski kind of just stalled the fight a little bit longer. Ryder does end up victorious with this fight. We're going to see them taking point here, maybe even being meta by Mr. Altitude. But as I was saying, Ryder is just needing to acknowledge the fact that there's 2 threats on the side of Siena, or 3 threats on the side of Siena. Mr. Altitude with his laser at full charge, consistently getting hit, Static in their backline, and Life sniping with kunais to the head.
not Kowalski, but the Kiriko ultimate from Life is going to come out. Exhibition Initiation is going to come in through the back line. The satellite is going to be locked to heal up their fellow take on the front lines right now. Cork almost finding 2, but that doesn't matter. Actually, he does find 2, but Siena is going to find 4. Make it 5 in team kill for the side of Siena, sending all Ryder back to spawn. But I just noticed that point was taken by Ryder for 48%. I know it ticks significantly faster in this game mode, but I didn't realize they had it that long.
Yeah, Ryder seemed to just kind of take the point after that initial that fight right off of their spawn, claiming the point. We see Ryder using Ramatra just kind of to go in the back, finding 2, but unfortunately the rest of Siena collapsed onto the rest of Ryder, finding picks using Static's ult. And now we're just seeing them fight in small room, trying to find this opening pick. Static is just going to continue being a menace in their backline, looking for his opportunity, waiting for his cooldowns to reset. But we see Mr. Altitude popping ult. Nothing came out of it. Life getting a double headshot on Kowalski, getting the pick, and Static in the backline also helping out, finding essentially the entire Ryder team holding this point and taking this point, moving it on to the next point. Siena very close to kind of just taking the map here. 1-2 done.
This game started out in the favor of Ryder University, starting to look like a bit of a struggle with the new compositions that they were running. They didn't have to switch off it initially. They win the first map entirely at the end of the day, but then Siena, with all the lag switching that they definitely caused themselves, 100%, that's what we're going with. They DDosh Ryder into submission, and they are going to be winning the next 2 maps, looking to make it a 3rd and finish this series out. Not going to map 5. They are technically on match point, so Ryder needs to reverse sweep this at this point in time if they really want to have any chance of winning.
Ryder's coming into this with the 3 ults, the High Noon coming in immediately.
High Noon is going to come out, but Cork is immediately going to be going into the back line, ignoring the dragons that came out. And right now, this high charge Zar is going to be going back with 0 charge. Bailey, last alive, trying to get some kills, trying to get some damage. I don't think they needed to because their ultimate is already on board. So they just turn over a little bit of healer ult charge, but it's okay. Not that crazy.
Only 1 ult used from the side of Ryder that fight, very well managing their ults. Unfortunately, that Noon couldn't find the bubble timing soon enough and ended up shooting the bubble instead of actually killing the Zarya. I saw a really good fight from Static with Bailey on to Rai, essentially just having Rai get down to 1 HP, and we see Static running into the backline looking for that lasers. Can't find that lasers fell, but he runs into the May Freeze, getting frozen. Ryder finding the pick on the frozen Static, popping the nano as well to keep their tank alive. Cork popping ult to continue his walk downtown, but Ryder finding Chunk on the off angle. Unfortunately, Kowalski dying to Mr. Altitude, and Mr. Altitude just getting traded back. Bailey touching, but not being able to hold on. This will be Ryder's point here, moving on to the 4th point of the map here. They cannot let a single point go here. If they do, it could be the end for them.
Complementing their ult usage in the first fight for this point, but this second fight they kind of burned 3 going into that one. Yes, Nano, May. I think the May was a good retaliation ult into the Kiriko ultimate. Cork's running it down with his and Nano in tow. They do burn 3, but it is a new point, so they have a little bit of time to build them back up. So not that devastating, but the problem is Siena do have 3 on board, and Chunk has been building his pretty fast. Do not stand in these little doorways. Do not stand in these little hallways, I mean, because he will just launch a dragon in there and pick off your team.
Any grab here, any grab dragon combo will essentially ruin Ryder's chances of winning. But Ryder has to stay very split here, hopefully not allowing Mr. Altitude to get the opportunity to walk and pop that Torb Misty, but knowing that they were going to do that, they decided to pop the Juno ult, having Chunk completely miss the grab dragon, allowing Ryder to continue this hold. Kowalski cannot get walked down here. If he gets walked down here and ends up dying, it will be the loss for Ryder. but Cork being able to pressure out Bailey and Kowalski winning his ones has secured Ryder to this point.
Kowalski, she wins the 1v1 against Life. That was pretty good. I was watching that specifically for that hot moment. Opening up with a free shot and then Life acknowledging the fact that Kowalski is still there, but losing that 1v1 at the end of the day allows Cork to survive. And now Ryder in control of this point. And also Mr. Altitude opting into the swap, going into the mirror that is Ramatra. But Cork gets the kill on the Chunk, and that's going to be his go time. He's going to be walking into the back line looking for the kills. Right now, support. So they are going to be healing up the storm. But that
Siena has to find this damage on Mr. Altitude before he can escape. Cork coming in, trying to block off Mr. Altitude, but Mr. Altitude does get out of that small hallway. That pick on Mr. Altitude actually might have won Ryder the entire map there, or the entire point again. But we're seeing Ryder just kind of continue this press onto Siena, not allowing him to get anywhere near point. But Siena finding one pick, and we do have Static back on the Reaper here. Hopefully he starts funding this Ramatra here. You might have to TP onto point to continue this hold. Coming in through the top, do they touch the point before it is? If they do not touch the point, and we do see the May ult coming out, it might be a wasted ult. It could maybe get a stagger on Static here.
I don't necessarily think it was a wasted ult. I think it was used to make sure that point got secured. Cork is really trying to be reserved with his ultimate. There were so many times I thought he was going to pop it to just secure the fight. He doesn't do it when they catch out the Ramatra with the May ultimate. He doesn't go into the backline. They're very reserved. They're really trying to be nice with this. But that May ult was kind of used just to 100% secure that fight, because I feel like Grizz understands that it's not getting the value he wants it to, but in that case, it could be a big zoning tool, and it does work wonders. Right now, both these teams make their way to point. They are going to meet out here. Mr. Altitude looking to get a pick. Fry Guy in a bit of a bad position, but he does not get caught. No bit of damage even makes it to him. So right now, Ryder on the point. They are going to play this slow. I know that. They are going to play the walls. They are going to play with respect. They aren't going to be pushing like crazy, but it doesn't matter if they're not going to push, because Static Beta is going to be the one that's pushing into the backline. Right now, the arrows find the head of Lasers, who was going to high noon. It's high noon, but you're going to be slept out the end of the day, sent back to spawn. I know it wasn't an Ana that did it, but putting you to sleep, that was Chunk's job. He did just that. With his ultimate coming online soon, there's 4 ultimates for the side of Siena, and only 2, almost basically 3 for the side of Ryder.
Coming up on 3 for the side of Ryder here.
Yeah.
Very well played for the side of Siena. Taking out that high noon with Chunk's scatter arrow was just humongous. But now we have both Ramatra ults up and ready here, finding the first opportunity to Ramatra ult. We have to watch. Grizz might want to save that wall to block off the Ramatra from running down his team, as Cork's going to start the engage and start running down on the enemy team. Kowalski low, using that nano, and using the walling off, making sure Grizz stays alive, but Bailey is going to get pushed out. Both supports down by the side of Ryder. Ryder is going to contest points here, but Mr. Altitude has 2 supports on just Ryder. Bailey is going to pop the satellite vector to keep herself alive, and they're going to keep fighting on the point. Ryder is popping that Ramatra ult to keep him up, sustaining the point. We have Lasers in the back trying to find the pick on Bailey, but they do secure the kill. Still holding. We have Ryder slowly peeling and finding picks. Maybe they can keep this fight going for a little bit longer, or even continue. We see Ryan pop the satellite vector as well, and
they hold the
Ryder
point.
ends up taking the point.
Play by Lasers.
They never. I don't even think they technically gave up the point for that one.
Yeah, they recapped it off of that first initial push onto point, and from that they held it the entire time. We saw ults coming out from all sides. We have Lasers and May ult sitting in reserve for the side of Ryder, with Reaper, Blossom, and Dragons coming from the side of Siena, but we see the Reaper getting shut down early. We have the Dragons coming out onto point. Grizz getting low, popping, getting killed by the arrow.
And High Noon is gonna do its job. Finds 2, enables the last one onto Chunk, and Ryder is gonna bring us to a map 5. I don't know why I said defeat when I'm watching Lasers specifically, but Ryder, the Siena, the classic, map 5 is gonna happen.
There was so much going on in that last fight. I was starting to lose my words. Everyone was fighting for control at that point, using their abilities wisely, but in some mishaps here and there, we see Ryder taking the point from Siena, controlling it the entire time, and even on that attempt to retake from Siena, Ryder still came out on top and putting us into a map 5.
No, just as you not quite predicted, but I can say maybe hoped for is that reverse sweep from Ryder. That they did not let any of those go. And now I am excited to see that
Yeah.
classic Ryder Siena map 5.
Yeah, now
Give
we're
me
on
King's Row.
your predicted map 5.
Give me King's
Here.
Row. King's Row.
What are our options for this one?
Escort. Or hybrid.
Okay.
It's whatever isn't map 2. So you have a choice between escort and hybrid for map 2. They elected for Dorado, which is just a flat escort, so we are left with hybrid. So they are Nubani. Nubani is a map I haven't seen ever. So I was kind of curious about like why that ban would come out. Is that a Siena favorite?
Oh, I don't think that Ryder is opting to try and play with that high ground. It's not their best to play on maps that have a lot of high ground. They tend to stick on very even maps. Cork might try to keep the Ramatra here as it was working for him, or he might try and swap back to the Queen to try and bait Mr. Altitude onto the attack here. But if you could give us some more insight nourishment on the map pick here for the side of Siena.
Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. I almost feel like I would have expected, I wouldn't have expected Ryder to ban Numbani. Like you said, with avoiding those maps with a lot of high ground, I just think of it as, especially on that first point, we got a couple tight hallways there that I feel like would be great for Queen. But it seems that maybe they anticipate, this map being a little bit more their speed.
The high grounds are going to be actually a little crazier, especially for that point 2, going to be the hardest for Ryder to probably crack right away. But we will see what is to come, as Ryder is still electing into that Ramatra composition instead of the Junker Queen, so kind of strange. Don't know what to expect really anymore from this series as a whole. Siena throwing in us for a loop. I'm pretty sure at no point in time did Static say, I'm gonna play Venture like crazy. Picks Venture, has a lot of success, suddenly they're on Venture jail. So now they're doing a good job. Chunk off the Hanzo and now onto the Tracer, so we'll see how that works this time around. I think he might swap back eventually because he was finding that success. So, yeah.
The monkey was working for them on Dorado, so opting for the monkey pick here I think was a wise choice by the side of Siena. Static is just going to keep doing his own thing like you were saying. He's been a menace all game. They've just been trying to find any out to Static, but Static always ends up profiting and living longer than he should. Mr. Altitude is going to try and retain this high ground. We have Kowalski and Ryan still on the Juno and Ana comp here. I definitely think Ryan would be well off on Lucio. They almost find the pick on Static. They do end up finding the pick on Static, but Mr. Altitude trades the Ana here. Mr. Altitude low on HP successfully gets out, and we have Chunk just acting as a distraction for Mr. Altitude to reset. They end up finding the
Cork working his way onto the point, trying to catch out Chunk, but ultimately Bailey is left there to die eventually. Now he is going to die. Now Mr. Altitude is going to be the one to get caught out and die. Cork actually might be a little bit mindful with this Ramatra pick. It might be to counter Static in a sense, because he was watching Static. When you initially said that they almost catch out Static, it was because Cork put down the little like slow field to make sure Static doesn't take off to the air, keep him grounded, and immediately just burst him down. So he like has to panic out instead of panic in, or dash in for the damage, and then gets picked off, and this fight goes the way of Ryder.
But
now
Static swapping
on the Reaper.
Maybe for that exact reason, doesn't want that to happen again. Oh, that TP doesn't go as far as he expected it to, and he is going to get caught out. But Mr. Altitude jumping into the spawn room of Ryder University right now with the help of Chunk, trying to get some damage. They do get like 2 picks right now, and they are looking to keep this pressure on. And right now the bomb does come out, and Cork has no HP, but he does have Arms in a Dream, bringing him back up to 250. Now he needs to just sustain himself and allow his team to heal him up, and he is going to do just that. Bailey needs to TP out because they are on the low ground. but Chunk is going to be going into the back line and get his health chunked out. Lasers finding the kill with the Cassidy. Greetings, says the Winston, as he is just going to be laying damage in from up top. Nobody is going to look his way, and the Nano is going to come out, and so is the arms. That is just typically not the type of Nano Monkey you want. You want to keep it for the railgun or the Tesla cannon, essentially, but it doesn't matter. He finds a kill anyway, and right now, Siena stopping this push from Rider University. 3 minutes and 40 seconds remain on the board for them to finish this, or for them to hold this completely, but we will see if Rider has anything to say about that.
Well, we've got 5 ultimates on the side of Ryder here, so they are looking pretty good.
Oh, Static trying to TP his way out, but Grizz puts an icicle in his back, and he cannot do just that. Cork getting really low. Chunk really wants that kill, but right now they identify the fact that Kowalski is alone. They get the kill, but Chunk goes out too. Cork does need the ultimate, but the problem is there's nobody around. He does it just to secure the kill on the Winston. Right now, Grizz trying to get to this high ground, but it doesn't matter. Why are you going to the high ground when life is coming down to the low ground? I know what you wanted. You spot out the Static Beta coming up top, but he has to break away. He has no survivability. I'm pretty sure he TP'd basically into that spot, but he's not acknowledged. He's not told about his position. I'm pretty sure Ryder could have collapsed on him, but they choose not to do that. But the payload is getting dangerously close. Lasers, Satellite Vector is going to come out, and so is the May Ultimate. Zoning tool, I believe, for the most part. Nobody can touch this point, and I do believe payload is going to walk its way in, but Reaper is going to come in with a die, but the wall is going to come out, but it's going to break the wall. Grizz was not ready for that, and he is going to fall at the end of the day. Static TPs around, just tries to delay the inevitable right now, and right now, Ryder is looking to take second point. Bailey was so close to stopping it as well, but that would have costed them their life.
Definitely an opportunity saw by Mr. Altitude trying to jump in the back on Kowalski there, trying to secure the kill on Kowalski and allowing his team to push up. Static having to suffer that hard 1v1 by himself, not being able to heal off enough with Reaper abilities currently. But very well played from both sides, trying to find points, find picks. Siena almost holding that entirely, but we do see Chunk finding the pick on Grizz early here, stopping any push from the side of Ryder.
That pick was mainly due to Static getting into the backline, putting 2 Reaper shots into Grizz, bringing him really low, and Chunk just finishes him off. Cork gets a kill onto Chunk, but Static finds the kill onto Cork. So right now, Ryder not in a bit of a good position. There is... Oh, wait, no, the sports are just supporting the sports.
There's about 3 minutes on the clock here, so they don't really have much to worry about yet. We see no real swaps coming up, but we do have ults such as Monkey Ult from Mr. Altitude, Bailey's Kitsune, and Life's Orbit coming in. We have Cork trying to find an opportunity in the backline, but can't seem to find it as Mr. Altitude decides to run down the backline, popping his Monkey Ult, finding Grizz, hitting Grizz, trying to find this kill on Grizz, and does find the kill on Grizz, but returning back to the rest of the Ryder team, finding the pick onto Rygum is Chunk, cleaning up for Mr. Altitude.
Lasers could have ended that fight early on, almost finding the kill onto Static, but he does not find it. Speaking of Lasers, who is now going to be high Newton here, just looking to deny some area, looking to put some pressure down and some damage, but it's not going to come through. But no, Bailey is going to be popping, or Life is actually now on that Juno, so they are going to be popping the ultimate to try to enable this fight, and they aren't actually going to be, it's not going to be going their way right now as they do lose one member, but that's just it right now. They have the spawn advantage and they can come back together. Chunk's trying to do as much as he can in the backline, but he is having to rejoin the team. So right now, Ryder can push the payload just a little bit for free, but not free long enough.
Static does have his ult here as well. He's waiting for this opportunity to blossom. Almost had the opportunity back at the spawn of Ryder, but couldn't find it due to not being healed. He's just looking for the opportunity. He's going to drop down, and he's pressing the blossom, getting one, but not able to find the laser underneath. We see Chunk popping the pulse, not finding anyone as well. Satellite Vector dropping from the side of Ryder to keep Cork alive and this engagement up. We have Kowalski still alive as well, keeping Corked up even longer, and Life flying at the top, getting hit.
Almost going
by
down.
Cork, almost going down. Rygum going down to Static. Static finding the backline here, finding Lasers, gets the kill, and trying to regroup with this team before making any other mistakes. Chunky coming in through Bubble, zoning out Corked, but Corked not being able to die with the damage not being
Oh.
there. Return to his team.
Mr. Altitude almost falling dangerously low. I thought I saw 35 HP in the dream, but then he popped Primal, getting that 1000 HP to bring him back to full HP. He is going to sustain this fight, and he's not going to go down just yet. But Rider University doesn't need to burn anything just yet. They do have 20 seconds. Actually, now it's getting worse and worse. Right now, the Nano Ramatra ultimate is going to come out. They are going to be looking to run into the backline, but everybody is going to be going for the backline of Rider University, denying that value for Cork's ultimate, as it is going to burn out before he can return to the fight. And right now, he's basically alone on this fight. He gets the kill onto Kiriko, has to try to sustain, put up the wall for himself to keep himself alive long enough. But Grizz comes in with his ice block and wall to try to keep this fight going, but it's not going to be enough. Nobody can touch the point. Laser gets the kill, but they also die at the last second, and it doesn't matter. The round is complete, but a hold is still possible for Rider University to win this map entirely. They do not need to, they cannot let it go more than 2 points, essentially.
I saw really well played ults from both sides there, and what amazed me the most was definitely Ryder's ambition to hold on every fight. Every fight kept being extended and dragged down to about like 1 or 2 players until a regroup happened again. Surprising push from both sides. Mr. Altitude keeps finding the opportunity to dive Kowalski. It's really dependent from the way I see it. If Ryder can drop back and help Kowalski out, then they can continue their push forward. But if they don't fall back and help Kowalski when Mr. Altitude goes in, most of the time Mr. Altitude does end up getting this kill.
I'm gonna not be a little nice. I'm gonna flame lasers a little bit. Lasers kind of missing a couple of crucial shots that could have ended fights early on, preventing, you know, Static from being in the backline and Chunk, but I think the nerves are getting to her, fumbling a bit and not finishing those kills. They're allowed to like run away and then heal up, and ultimately it's coming to bite them in the ass. Right now
We are in this high intensive pressure right now, being in a 2-2 situation. This map takes everything. I would love to see an overtime come in for this, but maybe we can see a good fight coming down into overtime. Here, they found the pick on Kowalski. Static going in, finding pick on Rygum as well. Corked and Grizz alone, without any supports, having to try and hold on. They're most likely going to get staggered here from the fight, and having to reset all the way back in spawn.
Inside of Static?
Wait, what happened?
I believe that was
I
a
think
5K.
Static was a 5K.
Oh,
Static single-handedly just kind of TPing top and wiping out the side of Ryder. Ryder has opted here to swap back to the Queen comp in dropping the Ramatra.
they really need to know what go back to what they are comfortable on, and this team does have a lot more mobility. We saw it the first time they swapped to this against the Monkey. Everybody was able to disengage from any kind of engage. Lasers with the rocket legs, everybody just running away as fast as they could. So hopefully this poses well for them, but they do have 5 minutes and 12 seconds on the board to take this win. Siena looking pretty good, but they do have to finish it out, and Ryder is not looking to let that happen. Cork going into the back line immediately with the charge, just looking for the kills. He gets the knife, but he is not going to get the kills. He needs the backup from his team, and they are gonna get out. No real kills.
We see an Altitude swap back to spawn. He goes in for the Zarya here to counter this Queen that presented a menace to his entire team. With the Monkey, honestly, he couldn't really find any dive target. You have lasers sliding away, Grizz dashing away, Kiri TP, and just Lucio wallride. There was nothing that Mr. Altitude could really do on the Monkey there. He had to swap to the Zarya here to hopefully counter and protect his team, but he's allowing Cork to kind of just walk on his team and not noticing. Being able to reset here. Siena does find a pick, but then gets 2 on the side of Ryder, killing both Chunk and Static, trading the DPS. Now it's up to Mr. Altitude to try and keep his team up in the front line here.
That Tracer Bomb does come out. It brings Cork very low. He actually almost runs into Ragai, but Ragai keeps his distance far enough so he does not fall. 2 kills come on the board for Ryder, And right now, they are looking to hold this point. They are giving up a good amount of space, but Static is going to be going into backline. As soon as that happens, Ryder is going to do just the same, returning the favor, going for your backline, going for your enemies. And right now, the ultimate comes out. It's only going to connect on to the Zarya, who has the bubble to cleanse, but she has no immediate threat to do so. She had no reason to, and Chunk is actually going to be the one that goes into the team and dies. I realize now that Chunk is the one. They are going for this double dive, like, not double dive, double backline disruption composition, but Chunk is playing it a little differently, so we will see how this goes.
Well, it's interesting to see. I saw Static kind of just go in, disrupt the entire people on top, make him drop, and then try and get out. But he couldn't find the sustain, or I think he might have just ended up getting launched from the top off, causing him to die to Ryder. And from there, you can't really do much with Queen running down your Reaper, and you lose both DPS. So
Ooh, Chunk TPs immediately into death. This ends now. Lasers is looking to use their ultimate to try to do as much damage as they possibly could. Going onto the backline, diving with their tank, basically. Lasers learning from the Junker Queen, immediately going with the damage to try to end this fight early. They do just that. 2 minutes and 35 seconds remain on the board for Siena.
it's definitely an issue for Siena here to try and take any high ground, as Ryder just has a bunch of mobility on this high ground, but Siena can't really find an opportunity on it. Maybe we might see Mr. Altitude select the perk that allows Zarya to jump higher with her bubbles to try and gain some momentum on this altitude coming up. These perks could become very impactful, and we see Chunk kind of getting called out by himself. In the back line, we see the Blade coming in, killing Life, and finding his opportunity on Static again. Grizz cleaning up 2 from the side of Siena, maybe even finding a 3rd with Bailey.
But he's not going to find that. Cork is actually going to get the final kill on to Mr. Altitude right now. Chunk does kind of find themselves dead against Lasers. Chunk just ignoring his team, going for the backline, looking to be that opener that he could, but he did not find the chance that he wanted. Right now, Chunk on the Hanzo, opting away from the Reaper. He did not find success on that, and he is currently not finding success on the Hanzo, but 1 arrow and a dream is all you need. He is hitting shots, but he is not hitting heads just yet. So right now, Siena looking to take this fight fast. Ooh, Kowalski wasting that TP early on, and I don't know if Siena is aware. Mr. Altitude does have that. I was going to say that ultimate is online for him. And right now, Static is looking for the kills into the backline. And so many members from the side of Siena are going to be antied. But it's not going to be enough right now. Life does have to burn as much as they can to stay alive. But there's a good amount of members of Ryder still around. But the point is pushing and going for second point right now. So right now, Ryder in a bit of a dangerous position. And they are looking to basically give it up, but the 2 members, the Shimada brothers or siblings, do come onto the point at the last second, denying this push right now. The satellite vector is going to be locked for Siena, and they are looking to end this fight really quickly, but it's not going to come through as fast as they would like. But Kowalski does get picked off immediately, but Cork looking for the damage. Mr. Altitude finds 2, and right now, Ryder University looks like they probably are going to lose this point, but they're not out of this game just yet. They do have the time to play for the final point, but the issue is they don't want to do that just yet. Ryder playing for their lives, fighting this right now. They are not getting what they need, as Cork and Ryguy are the final 2 to fall. 1 minute and 36 seconds remain on the board, and 70 meters is all that remains between Siena and victory.
All usage that fight was really well played. Satellite Vector coming in to sustain Mr. Altitude, just kind of pushing the DPS of the side of Ryder, killing both, and then finding the pick on Ryan afterwards just to secure the point was played all around. We saw Static get picked off really, really early, but Siena, knowing that if they reset here, they wouldn't have the opportunity again.
Life.
Grizz finding the pick on Life.
But that knife is what actually enabled that pick. Life is looking for the picks early on with the kunais. They put themselves on that high ground. They get dragged in. They go to TP, but they die as as Grizz finishes off the kill. Ryder does know they cannot push up and take any stupid fight, so they get the kills that they need. They let Siena regroup, but so do they. Just wait. They're looking for these fights. They're looking for these fishes. Right now, Static going into the backline, looking for the kills. He knows he cannot over-aggress, otherwise he might cost him his life. The knife was actually in Static, but it doesn't capitalize on anything. The ultimate is going to come out from Cork, and they are looking to end this fight early. 20 seconds remain on the board. Mr. Altitude with high ult charge, and not just ult charge, but high energy and a dream. Right now, Blade is all that remains on the side of Ryder. It might be a little too early of a fight that they took. They needed to stall this out, but Mr. Altitude chunk the bomb, what's it called? Potential is crazy.
Bailey does come in and touch. Bailey trying to escape, but both the supports dead from the side of Siena. We do have Orb coming out, finding the pick on Ryan, finding the pick on Orb, finding the pick on Riz. And Siena does find picks on all of Ryder here on overtime. Ryder is just spawning in. Laser's holding that beautifully. Ryder just spawning in now. We have about 20 meters to go. Does Ryder touch this in time before Siena takes this all away from them, swapping to the Doom?
Doomfist in order to get back to the point, but I'm not sure if it's going to be good enough. They need to find the picks without costing them any life right now. Currently, Bailey has to return, or life actually returns on that Lucio to try to do things. Let's break it down comes out, but excavation initiation also comes out. Lots of damage for the side of Siena, and it is going crazy. The satellite vector to enable Siena to try to win this game. 2 members remain for the side of Ryder, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And Siena are going to progress to the end of this point, and Siena are going to take it after 5. Ryder and Siena classic, but it doesn't matter. This back and forth all season, Ryder and Siena is gonna ultimately end in Siena's favor.
This ends now.
That last fight was insane from the side of Siena, getting every single pick they needed there, and Ryder just trying to come back in and just hold the point. They can't find the opportunity. Staggering their last fight definitely cost them a lot of momentum in that final fight, not being able to really push for anything.
Yeah, Ryder really ticked down that clock to that very last second. I will be honest, I did not have as much faith as maybe I should have right there for Siena, but they brought it back, and I'm very proud of them.
Very proud of them.
It was definitely anyone's game at that moment in time. One crucial pick would have changed anything. Very good fights for both of the teams, leading us to a map 5 overtime play.
One of the crazier kind of series that I was not kind of ready for with the recent success that Ryder has been having. I was kind of doubting Siena's ability in order to win this match as a whole, but seeing how good of a DPS composition and just the follow-up with Mr. Altitude, it went crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know exactly what Siena has been doing in their off time to enable themselves to have the success that they did today, but whatever it was, it worked. And I'm glad it did. I forgot to transition to the casters, and here we are now. But yeah.
So we actually have Static in here with us for an interview, real quick.
I don't think it's not.
Static.
It's not just Static. Oh,
we can leave.
No,
we can leave just for us.
Oh, good sir, I do not have a camera set up for you. You want me to make that real quick?
It is so fine.
Go
right ahead. I'm in high spirits right now.
This man,
tell me about this venture gameplay, because I see you in the back line distracting everyone. What's going on while you're going there?
Bro, you want to know the 2-day process it took for this game, bro?
Tell me about the venture experience.
I vodded Ryder to high hell, and I just saw that they just left their hit scan open constantly, and so it's just what's the one character that I personally think is just brain dead broken, can get in easy out and get the kill? Venture. That mother. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That person. Awesome. I love Venture. Anywho, I'm glad to be here.
All right, you're gonna be
We
covered.
were very, very excited after this victory. Super happy, super bouncy.
What a high! What a high! I tell you.
No, I'm really happy to see the way that this game went after the first Siena Ryder match, which ended much quicker. It was really awesome to see a map 5 from these two teams.
This man.
And especially a Siena victory.
This man is literally trembling right now.
What a high, boys! What a high! Hell yeah! Oh.
Is there anyone you wish to shout out?
Can I shout out like a person on the enemy team and our team?
I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, people on the cast like to give MVPs, but it sounds like to both teams, so it sounds like you want to do that. So go ahead.
Bro, that game was amazing. I give props to my GOAT Bailey, bro. The amount of times I was just like cash apped a free life by him. Hell yeah. And then on the enemy team, he already knew it was coming. Ryan, bro. I love you, Ryan. You are the hardest person to kill. Oh my god, I'm on the screen. I just saw my You would think after all the League of Legends interviews I get, I'd be used to this, but no.
I'm kind of curious. I don't know if you remember. Speaking of League of Legends interview, was it you, the one that was in the shower that one year? So somebody did an interview.
Oh no, I got the diamond guy.
Somebody did somebody did an interview. I don't know if it was back in the EGF days, but somebody did an interview while in the shower. It was kind of crazy.
Dude, I need to eat like something. Dude, I was so upset. Sorry, it's not my turn to talk.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're good, Static.
You're
I'm good.
Yeah, keep static.
Hell yeah, I'm good. That game was good as hell.
I think.
Oh Lord, oh baby. You know, it is a high. It is a high to me. I just think that like, okay, well this is kind of biased. Like I play with a lot of the Rider kids. They are my favorite team to watch. Like you should have heard me. Fuck, my bad. You should have heard me. I tried to catch it, bro.
Yeah, you're good.
You should have heard me cheering for them their last sets. Oh my god, what a team and what a team to fight them. It's such an exhilarating battle, man. I love it so much. Like props to all of them. Holy.
Was a very
I
good.
keep looking at myself.
You're too excited for this.
Would you go to Map 5 against your favorite team and then win? Like, insanity. No?
Listen, we've been saying it a lot on the cast, and Nourishment is right there with me. The issue is, we've always done that with Siena. Ryder Siena is kind of crazy for that. It's like the classic. It's like, what's one truth about the MAAC? It's probably like Marist is number 1, or like the few truths of MAAC. It's Marist is number 1, and Ryder Siena are probably going to go to Map 5. It's always happening. I don't know, Static, you weren't there that year.
God.
There was one time we went to a Map 6, brother. That shit was crazy.
I need a drink, bro. Holy shit. I went to go run and grab a drink before the map started, and if I didn't, then I wouldn't have got my rollout, so I said, I was about to say something. I said, no drink for me, and I just ran. I just ran it, bro. Dehydrated as hell.
He was playing on dehydration mode.
This stuff's gas. My bad.
No sponsor placements. I don't know.
Thank you for joining us today, Static, and thank you. Congratulations on your victory today.
Yeah.
Yo, thank you for commentating. I'm about to watch this whole VOD back and see how much I glazed.
I think it was a decent amount, not gonna lie.
You played very well.
Yeah,
you played very well on the back.
I will give you.
I feel like I ran it down. Sometimes I'm gonna be real. I would die and I just go, "What am I doing?"
All right. Before we officially kick you out, I just want to. You say you want to hear us glaze you. What's it called? I'm just gonna say it before we get to our little MVPs. You are definitely mine. I'll give you that.
Big thumbs up, bro. Big thumbs up.
All right.
Oh.
Thank you for joining us, good sir. But yeah,
wait.
I'm gonna turn it.
Hey, wait. Wait, nourishment.
Yeah.
How many +1s I get?
Oh, dude, I lost count. I had my camera on you for a while
What a
there. You were really
hive.
diving into the back. It
What
worked
a hive.
more times than I would have expected it to. You played very well.
Just Cash got free kills, man.
All right. Thank you for joining us on the cast for an interview, good sir. An amazing game once again. So yeah.
Yeah. Let's go Siena.
Indeed. All right.
Hell yeah.
Have a good one.
I'm gonna wave till I'm kicked.
Events like I got a VOD of you now.
No,
Right.
you don't, Event. No, you don't.
Yo,
I can't boot him.
Do I leave? Am I
please,
supposed to go?
yeah, please leave. I can't.
Wait, I can do it with my left hand, so it looks
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I haven't
No,
done
don't
it.
worry. You're no longer on. You're no longer on stream. At least you're no longer on
Oh,
screen.
rip. Bye.
Bye. You could be heard though.
you're gonna kick
Listen. I don't have 17 hands. I have this window up in a different thing. I would have to pull Discord up. We are not we are not a professional cast here. I am a single man with 2 monitors. That's it. But imagine having Discord. Yes, 2 different Discords technically. OBS and other things going on at the same time. Anyway, we have Life and Mr. Altitude here, the 2 heads of the team, in my personal opinion, like being a joint captain type situation. So, can you 2 give us your ideas as of to like what went on into like trying to win this game, other than feeding Static some crack on Venture and sending and letting him go?
You know, earlier today, Paul and I, Mr. Static, to first name him. We went to the gym. He's been asking me to go to the gym for a while. We hit arms. I think I just like we imbued some divine strength in his arms in the Siena College gym today. That was part of it. Ryder's kind of been a scrim partner of ours for a while now, and I think a big reason in how we were able to really push back against them is that we've just been playing into them a lot. We've kind of learned some of their setups. We've learned how they play, how they like operate as a team, and we're kind of able to just try and push off of that and exploit the things we knew we could exploit, play around the areas we knew that they would be stronger in. And I think that was really just how we were able to pull it off. We just really were able to anti-rider as best as we could.
Anti-rider is a wild statement.
You know, the counter, play the counter, play the anti.
Yeah, even though you were playing the counter on some, it was kind of, you were forced to. You can't really do much on the monkey in the last map there. Forcing to swap it into something that can kind of just counter the queen from getting you.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I want to just kind of like think of your thought process there. Like, what about in like the last fight there with the Doom? How are you feeling?
I mean, it was. I mean, being you were there, I haven't really felt like this crazy about a game of Overwatch since Siena Iona 2023. Like I'm still shaking.
Wait, the one like at like
yeah, Lee, you were there.
Oh, I
Yeah,
was there.
you were
Yeah.
there.
You were the
Yeah, I was
mercy.
there. I was the
Yeah,
I was the mercy.
I think I wasn't even sure we were going to win that last fight. I saw Beat come out, and I was kind of thought that might be it. I saw, Quark rolling out on the Doom. I know he's an incredible Doom player. All it would take really was one good punch from him. I wasn't even really sure. And then Static finds. I think I looked up at one point. I think Chunk was also talking about this. We all kind of just looked up and saw Static taking the entire backline by himself. And that was kind of, I think, what put the nail in the coffin. Just like really high pressure final fight scenario there. Same with the previous game, the Flashpoint game.
A little bit of dead air, my bad. But amazing work from you guys. I gotta give you guys a lot of props, especially Static, as I've already said. You've heard me glaze him a little too much. You'll hear me glaze him once you watch back that VOD, which I know you guys will. Always a fun time. But Life,
Huh?
Give us your insights.
I told them to just kill them, and they killed them. Yeah.
What a captain.
This is I'm taking back the respect I had for you as a captain and giving it
No.
all strictly to Mr.
No.
Altitude.
Listen,
Liv, I
I
got
told
you.
them, kill them or you off the team, like, like normal. You know? You gotta give them some, like, tough love.
Hey, and it worked.
It clearly worked. But yeah, I want to take note that fact that this hard work that you guys put in does kind of knock Ryder down a little bit in terms of the standings. I don't think it's going to be enough to take them out of that 7th place, but it does bring Siena up a little bit. I don't know what the rest of your guys' season looks like, but if you guys can pull out some crazy wins, if there are crazy teams that you guys are going to be going up against in the near future, you might actually be able to push yourself into that 7th place spot, which will be interesting to see. So the competition for like 5th through 7th just got a whole lot crazier, and it's all thanks to you guys putting in the effort to do what you do. So good job there.
Go stupid, go crazy.
Yeah, and for insight on our schedule, we play Maris tomorrow. We have a game against Iona that we're still working on a reschedule for. We play Niagara on Monday. We play Fairfield sometime next week. And I believe we have a game with Quinny as well, which
You guys
we
have
are working on.
You guys have a week full of Overwatch coming up for you.
We have a great week for Overwatch.
Yay! Woo!
And am I excited?
Not to detract from you guys, but we previously had Dax on the cast, and that man, being Maris, they have like 9 games total to finish up. And they only have, what, a week and a half at this point to do it? That's crazy. Don't burn your guys' self out of Overwatch. You are students at the end of the day. Focus on your education, please, for the love of God.
Yeah, I have a 3-page paper due at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
What? Why are you here?
Well, I'm chilling,
No, you're not.
Sleep is secondary to Overwatch.
Oh my.
No, it was good though.
Oh my.
It was
God.
worth it.
Oh my God! This man, he's putting his education on the line for a win, and it worked. At least you came away with a win. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think. Any other questions from my fellow 2 casters?
Not really.
I think you guys had it covered.
Anything else you 2 would like to say before you head on out?
I love you, Nourishment.
Oh my god, I love you, Life.
That's all.
My OG duo.
The OG duo.
OG duo.
I'd like to put a little more glaze on Static's name while on stream. Static came in for us this semester last year as a sub for our A team when we still had Astrophobe playing. Came in as a sub from our League of Legends team and hadn't really played a whole lot of Overwatch 2. Was definitely versed in the game, but not, nearly as well as most people in the conference. And, going up to today, he's making really impactful calls. He just understands the level, the game, like probably at a level beyond how much I understand the game after playing for 8 years already. And big shout out to him because he's, I think, a huge reason of why we were able to pull this out.
Speaking of,
and also thanks for casting.
Of course, but yeah, I want to.
Thanks for waiting.
I want to add on top of your Static thing, and this is just me looking as like an outsider, and at the time, I guess technically being a coach and just trying to like be a little bit judgmental against other players in general, try to see if I could like provide insight. I genuinely felt, and I mean this with no disrespect, coming into like last year into like this season, I felt like Static was kind of a weak player at first. He was not showing a lot of promise and stuff. And I kind of disregarded it, did not look at him. Then, not to say like this game helps, but I hear that the man is like, what, Celestial on Marvel Rivals. I was like, if he applies himself the same way he does there, he's going to succeed very well in Overwatch. And coming into this game, I'm pretty sure he did just that. He truly ran it down on hero shooters, pulling away from League of Legends for a second and just becoming a menace. He really did amazing right now, and I really kind of respect him for like the growth he has had. I know we've talked a lot about Ryder as a team in terms of growth, and Court kind of had a lot of growth. But me looking at this game today, Static is one of those players that went from what, in my opinion, was potentially zero to freaking amazing right now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's been crazy to watch how much he's grown his understanding of the game. There was points towards the end of last semester where he was saying like he might not even necessarily continue with Overwatch just because League of Legends is such a big time commitment for him. And this semester, when we needed him, he really just locked in. I think he's went from gold to diamond this season. Not this season, I guess, but this semester so far. Just massive improvement from him.
Gotta respect it. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for you two here with us. And thank you for joining us for the interview. And once again, congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Thanks for casting. And
Thank
thanks for waiting for
you.
us.
You're welcome.
For real.
Of course. It was no
Hey,
problem. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah. Bye bye. Have a good night.
There you go. All right, my fellow casters, I'm going to do the classic lead us out real quick. But once again, that was a Ryder Siena classic going all the way to game 5. But at the end of the day, Siena is going to be the team out on top with a 3-2 victory. Kind of a close series. A lot of credit being thrown around. A lot of players up for MVP, in my opinion. But as I already stated early on, and like I say every time, everybody gets an MVP. Both teams get an MVP, but I've already said mine is Static, and I don't know who to give quite for Ryder. There was a lot of just like team play in general, so I don't feel like I could necessarily say anybody stood out enough for me to give it to anyone specific. The combination of Court plus Grizz, especially when he swapped back to that Genji, his effectiveness, their team play is so good. Ryan had the most survivability throughout the entire match as a whole. He typically was always the last to either die or typically get out. So you know what? I'm gonna have to give it to the man right there. His beats has also recently been on point for a lot of games recently. So although it wasn't a win, yes, Ryan, I'm gonna give him the MVP for Ryder. So those are my two. What about you, Bean?
I have two choices for the side of Siena right now. I'm thinking between Mr. Altitude and Static, but I think I have to go with Static just due to his like threat in the back line of Ryder. Overall, his plays were pretty well, but even then, you still have to include Mr. Altitude in the bubbles that just helped him get out or helped him keep stay alive. Mr. Altitude bubbling his teammates to keep them alive from the Queen Axe. Very well played. But I think Static takes it for me on the side of Siena. And for the side of Ryder, it's very tough to choose between Court, Lasers, and Ryan right now. Ryan just having amazing beats all around, like you were saying, but Lasers knowing like or finding opportunities for her team to like engage, getting picks for the team, and then obviously you have Court. Court would always get down to like let's say about 100 HP, then he'd pop that Queen ult. Know that if he hits it, he'll heal back and still be able to fight, which is why we saw him get low in so many fights and then heal back and continue drawing out those fights. I definitely just gotta go with Ryan though. Those beats were definitely impactful and turned the tide of many fights.
Good MVPs. And how about you, Nourishment?
Okay. I'm gonna have to agree with some of your guys' picks. On the side of Siena, I am also in between Mr. Altitude and Static. Static for the same reasons as you guys mentioned. A lot of really great dives, really great picks. For Mr. Altitude, he had just especially on Zarya, he was consistently fully charged. He had some really incredible grabs. Just overall, some really great plays on his part to really take some of those team fights. So I feel like it's a little difficult for me to pick between the two of those. As for Ryder, there were a lot of good plays between various people on that team. I feel like I'm gonna have to lean toward lasers just because with my Siena bias, I feel like I was spectating them a little bit more, so I didn't quite see as closely some of the Ryder gameplay. But lasers had that really like in your face, obvious, some really great ults, especially on that, what is it, New Junk City? I'm so bad at the map names. But a lot of those, we had some really great high noon. In general, a lot of really great Sojourn play. But overall, a lot of really great plays from them that won them a good number of fights in there. So I feel like those would be my general picks.
Overall, difficult for us to pick exactly who the MVPs were because all these players did very well this time around. But at the end of the day, having to pick somebody is the name of MVP. It's not like we're giving an MVP for the whole team, but yes, good job overall for Siena to beat this team of Rider University, who, like have highlighted recently, that they are really growing as a team and are making their way up in the ranks right now, as they have been able to make certain like Titan teams bleed, in our opinion. But Siena shows that they could punch kind of just as hard as Rider can, but we have yet to see. They do have Marist up tomorrow. Hopefully we will hear how that goes. Hopefully it goes well for them, especially after today. But not sure until that happens. So good luck on that game, Siena, when you guys do play it. So yeah. Anything else you two want to say?
Nothing really. I think the only thing I want to say is I'm gonna call out Event real quick and be like, bro, we were apparently supposed to play today and not last week. I saw that on League OS, so that's all I'm gonna say.
Wait, so you guys played early?
Yeah, apparently we were supposed to play this week. I don't know if it was like a rescheduled thing or something. I was never informed of anything.
At least
I just know we played last week instead. We did get the game out of the way, but we were supposed to play this week. I didn't know that at all.
Now you don't gotta worry. You're here. But yeah, all right. And once again, ultimately in a tight series, map 5 game goes ultimately to Siena 3-2, and that is going to do it for us here at the cast. Wonderful game. Thank you for having us here, but now we must go to bed, as it is, if you're here on the East Coast with me, midnight. It's already the next day. This game started on 3/12, and we're now on 3/13. So now, everybody, let's go to bed. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bean, say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Cracking.